Welcome back, my friend. For anyone who doesn't know, this, beautiful drawing will be my new editor for these reviews. I really liked how he handled Mahito vs. Shigaraki's review, so I'm gonna keep this, Burger Weeb as long as I can. Jobber may not be editing this review like he did for Chief Slayer, but he will be back down the road. This episode right here has been the talk of the town for so long now.
Game!
There was immediate hype behind this matchup as soon as it was announced. With something that had such hype surrounding it, you know they had to really bring it in every aspect. And you bet your ass they did. Where people were hyping up this matchup, for me, I was hyped over Mahito vs. Shigaraki and Ash vs. Yugi. This one kinda slipped under my radar. I don't know a lot about Kyle, and I hadn't seen Gurren Lagann in a long time. So I was excited to learn more, starting with...
And I like to speak.
Simon's analysis is really good. It initially focuses on Kamina instead of Simone. Kamina was the person who Simone looked up to the most. Simone felt like Kamina was responsible for everything that was happening, escaping to the Earth's surface, piloting the body portion of Gurren Lagann, and being the foil that kept the entire team together. Focusing on him instead of Simone relates to how Simone focused on Kamina as well. It's a really fun direction for this analysis to go, and I love it. Until Boomstick starts talking about Kamina's death and says, "Was that supposed to happen?" Yeah, Boomstick, Simone wanted Kamina to die. It was planned the whole time. In any case, talking about Simone's will faltering, Nia pulling him back from depression, and Simone leading an army against the Anti-Spiral, all beautiful. Explaining the Gurren Lagann can be a little difficult, but they still did a really good job, explaining the different parts of the Gurren Lagann and all of their forms. Talking about all the different and creative ways Simone uses his drills. Contrary to what you may think, he isn't a one-trick pony. He uses his drills in very creative ways, using his spiral power, and explaining spiral power is difficult. They essentially say he can will anything into existence, which is kinda true, he just likes drills. But this also includes lasers that are faster than SpongeBob, giving Simone the highest speed feat in death battle history. Simone also has missiles that have a 100% chance of hitting an enemy, and he can even evolve his Gurren Lagann into a higher dimensional form. If Simone gets hurt, he can heal himself from anything, and his girlfriend Nia was even able to heal herself on an informational level, which is crazy. When Boomstick talks about making Booze his whole personality like Simone does his drills, we hear a familiar stand noise. This references 99 Bottles, Boomstick's stand that turns everything into booze. Wiz is totally gonna lose his death battle to Boomstick. Anyways, we learned that Simone can be 11-dimensional in scaling to outer versal, and has incalculable speed, so it'd take a lot to put him down for good. I just want to say, I love the Spiral Cousins ending line, referencing how Simone became an observer who watched over the world in peace. It's such a sweet way to close out an amazing analysis. My new favorite analysis for this year's episodes. How was Kyle's comparatively?
Give me your money.
Just like how Simone's analysis started with Kamina, Kyle's analysis starts with Hal Jordan. How after a tragedy, Hal became parallax and killed almost every single Green Lantern out there, except for one character named Ganthet, who is the person who gave Kyle the Green Lantern ring in the first place. I love that when they are introducing Hal, they say, "You might hate him," when showing Hal versus Ben. The controversy is real. Kyle's story is handled well, talking about how he's a big nerd. He's a writer that happens to love pop culture, like Gurren Lagann ironically. He's like Hal but with a way better imagination. This episode taught me what fridging was, and I hate it. It just turns love into a way to make a male character more passionate, and that sucks. Kyle is someone who struggled with taking things seriously, and when he lost someone he loved, twice, he struggled with forgiving himself, culminating in the part of the analysis where they describe Kyle having every single lantern ability, while seamlessly saying that he needed to forgive himself for his partner's death to fully master the love emotion. That's some deep stuff, man. But on a side note, does Boomstick imply that he hates himself with the "it must be nice" line? Damn, that's really depressing. Kyle controls time and space and can be scaled to 12.3 dimensional. He can erase someone's existence while resisting his own existence from being erased. He can heal himself instantly, and he has the White Lantern ring and the life equation. This gives him control of all of life, but he doesn't really use it much before splitting it up and giving it to other people because he just can't control it. Teaching the new White Lantern crew the lesson that they will never learn without struggle. Something that Kyle had to learn firsthand. Kyle's analysis was good, but nowhere near as good as Simone's. But I think it was still solid. It could just be boring in parts. Now, onto the part everyone likes.
Sudden death!
The storyboards category will now turn into my first category, setup and story. This setup is ingenious. Kyle shows up and tells Simone that he's here to take a galactic super weapon that has been reported. Kyle assumes it was Simone's mech and attempts to take the mech from him. Very easy setup and there isn't much of a story told here, but it's still really fun and calls back to Ben vs. Hal. I will say though, Kyle's attitude is consistent during the animation. He never tries to kill Simone. Kyle takes the mech and flees. When he gets close as the giant white lantern construct, he just grabs and throws Simone's mech. And when he's in the life equation, he just tries to pacify Kyle by manipulating his emotions. Even at the end when Kyle realizes that Simone is the super weapon, he still wants to take him into custody and doesn't try to kill him. Simone is just protecting himself and his mech, retaliating against Kyle with whatever means he has, having a lot of fun fighting in the meantime. It's fun, it's consistent, and it's in character. It's just amazing. And the banter is phenomenal as well. There's 3 parts of the banter I want to focus on that I didn't just mention. The first is this whole beginning section. Simone talking about how he doesn't deal with authority well and not understanding Kyle's lingo when he calls out "for," just brilliant. The second is the moment they both started reciting Simone's "now you know" line. It's amazing how they tied together Kyle knowing who Simone is with this one scene, just replacing the word digger with lantern. It's definitely a creative highlight that keeps me smiling from ear to ear. My third focus is one that I don't like. Well, the delivery at least. At the end of the fight, Simone says, "It was me," when Kyle starts to understand that Simone is the super weapon he was looking for. I feel like this line could have used a rewrite since the first few times I watched it, I didn't even realize it was an exchange. The delivery makes it sound like only one person was talking. I think Simone should have said something more after his line here to really differentiate them, but there was only one line in the animation that I just thought could have been done a little better. Honestly, this gets almost perfect marks from me, as well as the animation, choreography, and trait of abilities, baby. This category gets chef's kiss from me. They use so many damn abilities and traded blows so well. Simone used his sunglasses boomerang and Kyle uses a green lantern hand to grab it. We see an orange lantern vacuum suck up the drills that Simone shoots, just for the vacuum to turn into Shenron and wrap Simone up. Just for Simone to use his thrusters to hit Kyle anyways. Kyle uses his construct of Tiger Woods to golf the head off of the Gurren Lagann mech, just for Simone to drill into the ground and chase after him. We get a fight of the Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann fighting a white lantern construct of Superman who is using a blue lantern shield and a green lantern sword while using the red lantern's energy as his heat vision. Kyle uses his indigo lantern portals to avoid Simone's probability missiles, just for Kyle to still get harmed anyways. There's just so much in this fight that it's beautiful. Simone drilling through the source wall in a scene that, I wish it was more impactful, but it's still awesome either way. Simone resisting Kyle's mental manipulations in the last 2 drill clashes where they use all of their powers to defeat the other. Not to mention this awesome drill that combines all of the lantern powers. Oh my god, I love it. One minor complaint I have is that they explain Kyle can heal from anything, but he kinda just doesn't at the end of the fight. It could be that his white lantern ring wasn't on his body anymore and that's why he didn't heal, but I'm not too familiar with the lanterns to know if that's the case. But this is solid choreography. I almost couldn't ask for anything better, and that includes the music. Spiral of Emotion is my second favorite track this season. It mixes the main theme of Gurren Lagann, a Brandon Yates fan commission track named Will of the Drill that everybody knows, and Spellaholics Synonymous, the song that plays in Scarlet Witch vs. Zatanna. It definitely feels more Gurren Lagann coded in this fight, but honestly, Kyle doesn't have much to pull from in the music department, so it's fine. Although I will say lyrically, it's in Simone's perspective, telling himself and Kyle to believe in themselves and to trust in their ungodly amounts of power. It's not too deep, but it's still really good. Nothing will beat Ghost Rider vs. Spawn's song though. Moving on from music, let's talk about what I'd add to the fight. First off, I do wish Kyle summoned an actual mech from another anime series to fight Gurren. It's strange to me that someone who loves mecha didn't use any mecha in this fight at all. I feel like Simone having a big emotional character moment could lead people into believing that they like Simone more than Kyle. So maybe giving Kyle a sweet moment like Simone's "Believe in the Simone that believes in you" part would quell this complaint from people. And number 3, I have nothing more to add. Usually I think of 3 moments to add, but this episode was just so good that it doesn't need anything to make it better. It's near perfect, so let's get to that conclusion.
This is a moment in history! Take a picture!
With a matchup this unconventional, it was obvious that they couldn't use normal means to decide a winner. So we have 3 kind of abstract categories. So let's get into them. Imagination being a draw is something I'm conflicted on. On one hand, yes, I get that Simone doesn't only make drills, but he does do a lot with those drills. Their main argument is that they could adapt to each other, which is very true. I've seen people argue that since Kyle has a way better imagination, that he should have taken this category. And they downplay Simone by saying that almost all of his arsenal is stuff he has stolen from other people. people. But here's my thing. If Simone sees an ability and can just replicate it with spiral energy, wouldn't he just do that to Kyle? It'd be a constant battle of Kyle hitting him with something crazy and Simone retaliating by mimicking Kyle's attacks but with his own twist. Legitimately, neither side has an advantage here. So even though I think each side has a lot of factors that didn't get brought up, I agree with it being a tie. I'm combining potential and willpower together because they practically did themselves. They say that since Simone would have a higher potential based on him absorbing the multiverse labyrinth, healing on an informational level, and I shit you not, because he does this shit every single day, that he should take the edge in potential, giving him the edge in willpower as well. It's a little weird they separated two categories that are heavily linked, but yeah, that logic makes sense. I guess when Kyle erases someone from reality, he only erases their body and nothing else? I'm not exactly sure how this stuff works, but this is a relatively simple conclusion for an otherwise complicated episode. And it was all great. I think me and Liam are on the same page when it comes to writing. Me and him like the same things and tell our stories very similarly. So giving this an A+ might seem like I'm biased for Liam at this point, but it really deserves it. It goes above and beyond in every category and is truly everything I could have wanted from an episode like this. But what did you guys think? Was it a good episode? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, have a wonderful day and take care. Oh, also support my editor. His link is in the description. Bye-bye.